Life with Lisa 343. Life with Lisa 343. Just hit subscribe. I know you feel the vibe.
Hello, how y'all doing? If you don't know, now you know it's your boy Snugs. Welcome to Life with Lisa 343. And we're making beef cubes, one of my wife's favorite, with a dry gravy over white rice with lemon pepper butter in hers. I'm making oxtails with homemade beef broth gravy on top of the rice with plain butter. Now, for those who want to do it by scratch, you will put your meat inside a bowl, a pot. You will fill the water up. You want to put it like 2/3 the way to the top. You boil it. If you're a person that goes away and forgets, set your timer to 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, just put some more water in it. 10 minutes go past, you put some more water in it. Not a whole lot, just some more. About around 30 minutes, you should start seeing the water change. Once the water changes, then add your seasoning. Don't do it in the beginning, it's going to be for nothing. Once the water starts to change color, you want to use some basic salt. We use sea salt. It's more natural, it doesn't have so much sodium in it, and it's actually real. We use sea salt. Of course, you'll use pepper. If you're a person like my wife, she's a lemon pepper freak. It's Rick Ross' little sister. She's a lemon pepper freak. If you want to put a jerk in it, you can put a jerk in it. If you want to put spices in it, you can put spices in it. It's more so whatever floats your boat. But do not over flavor it. If you over flavor it, you're going to destroy your broth and the food that you cook. Because you got to remember that when you're making broth, the meat is going to soak everything that the broth in. So the best thing to do is keep it simple. Salt, pepper, seasoning salt, whatever exotic spice that you're going to use. This pot has been boiling for about 3 hours. After I put it in the oven. So, I want y'all to pay close attention to something, right? So you can understand. My wife says she don't know, so I'll show her. She says she don't know the difference between an oxtail and a beef cube. This is a beef cube. Now, I put them in the oven first for an hour. I boiled them after I had them in the oven. You notice I didn't say oven, then boil. I didn't say boil, then oven. Oven, then boil. Now look at this beef cube. Look at that. Look at that. You see? You see that? I'm not even pressing hard. It's falling apart. Look. See that? Oxtail is perfectly falling apart. Now, this is the oxtail, this is the beef cube. I have a strainer, regular strainer, and a flat pot. Notice the size, flat. A lot of times when health people tell you don't eat rice, they're talking about people who don't prepare rice right. Let me show you what I mean. So, I'm taking this rice out. Before I even cook it, I'm gonna do something called starch wrenching. So, just to show y'all what I'm doing, because I already did it. If you run water on rice, you'll notice that it turns a color almost see-through like onions. What you're doing is, you can't see the water down there, you're rinsing all the starch off the rice first. All that stuff that makes you overweight and the stuff that makes you lose the actual meaning for the rice.
Well, why am I still overweight?
And stops the rice from, ask Jesus, and actually stops the rice from absorbing all the flavor from the stuff. That's what the rice should look like before you actually put it in the bowl. Okay. Now, most people think that the temperature of the water is the reason why it boils or boils fast or whatever. That's a lie. I'm gonna show you a trick to make water boil 3 times faster than it would. I want you to notice that even with me washing this rice, you still see some starch on top. So just imagine if I didn't wash this rice out, how much of this starch would be going in your body. Now, here's a trick. Majority of the stuff that people say is bad for you, what people don't understand or what they misconstrued is that most of the stuff you put in the water will dissolve or evaporate. That's why you're supposed to eat vegetables without boiling, because you boil all the nutrients out of it. So even though this might seem unhealthy, it's not even full of rice, and it won't be in the rice. It's full of water to boil faster. Sodium makes anything twice its temperature. Little science for y'all. So if I pour salt into the water, this water will boil in 5 minutes. While that is doing what it's doing, I want you to understand something. What I'm going to do is, once the beef is cooked, you want to make sure it stays in the juices that is in, so it does not get dry. So this is what I'm doing. I'm putting all the beef cubes inside my pot that is not so these are nice, juicy, nicely seasoned pieces of meat. But if I left this down on that table or covered it, in 5 minutes it'll be unedible, it'll be hard, the top will be sealed. So what I do is, you fill the pot first, it's not hot. So what I do is, I take this broth that I made home scratch, and I pour it inside there, about halfway through. But once I pour it in there about halfway through, I get a piece of aluminum foil to lock the steam in. That's what I'm gonna top our rice with. Now, we have my oxtails. Now, she don't like gravy, but I happen to like gravy. So that same broth, if you don't know how to make broth and season it to as though it won't be too salty, won't be anything, don't be ashamed just to go to the store and just get a box of beef bone broth. Not beef broth, beef bone broth. So it has a little marrow in it. All right, cool. So I'll take my oxtails out. And I know a lot of old people gonna kill me because they make it in the pot, not me. This is 2020. Coronavirus, all kinds of stuff is happening. I'm making it the smart way. So with my beef broth that's left, we got this nice blender, nice and clean. What I do is, I take the blender, I pour the rest of the broth in here. And I'm glad y'all got a chance to see how thick and spiced and everything, how good that broth is. Y'all gonna think I'm lying, I measure everything. I'd rather be right on point than off point. So this is 2.5 cups of broth. For those of us that's good in street math, you already know what I'm saying. You put a little bit in, you put some baking soda, you cook it, but 2.5 cups of broth equals 2.5 tablespoons of flour. Now, you want to get you not a fancy one, but you want to get you a blender that gives you the ability to take the top off, but leave it on. What I'm going to do is add a fair amount of flour inside this spoon until I hear it thicken. Like I said, 3. And as you see, it's starting to thicken out. When I stop it, it should settle really slow. Perfect. I'll take the same pan. I pick my cooked oxtails in. I want this just to get hot. So if the flame is on high, I'll put it like in the middle. Because I just want it to get hot to like start boiling. I don't want it to really cook. Just enough. And that, my friend, once it boils, once it starts to simmer, it'll thicken up. And you'll have your oxtails and gravy over your white rice. The rice will take a little more time, but once the rice is done, we'll be back and I'll show you the most important part about making meals for other people, the plating process. These is the oxtail and gravy. That's how you know your gravy. Look at that. It looks like it's for a commercial. Then you put that on some white rice. Now this is something I want y'all to pay attention to. Everybody likes to cook rice in a big pot. Add a whole lot of water. I have no idea why. Rice is nothing but rice petals that got water in it. So the fastest way to do it is to cook it in a hybrid, like a frying pan or a boiling pan, but it's in between. My baby got some fancy pots, so I never seen it. In the hood, we got a frying pot, we got the noodle pot. That's it, spaghetti pot. But we got a hybrid. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour this in here. You see how easy that went in there? You see this right here? That's starch. Now, even though I washed it out, I still take it, put it on hot water, and I drain it. You can't see this water, but it's almost like milk. And that's all of the stuff that you don't need inside your body. Imagine if you just cook this right. And when you do it like this, you know how rice be stuck together sometimes? Let me show y'all the beauty in it. Let me show y'all the beauty in it. Take my little fancy spoon, pick the rice up. That rice is absolutely sitting in the water all the way separated. So all the juices and the gravy and anything else you need is right inside. There you go. So my rice is done. Let me take you to something no one at home, well, not no one, most people at home don't even bother to do. They're like, I'm cooking for my children, I'm cooking for my husband, I'm cooking for my wife. Why gotta make it fancy? Because you're supposed to put your effort and everything in it. And me, I'm a chef, I act like one. What you wanna do is, you wanna make sure all of your surfaces at the top is absolutely clean. You want to get a utensil. Make sure that whatever you pour in the plate is really close to it. I use this spoon because it's really, really easy. And I can show y'all at the end how it's easy to actually manipulate the rice in whatever form you want to. One more should be enough. So you want to take the back of the spoon, press down, but you want to put an indentation in the middle of it so your gravy and everything can soak in. So you take it, you press down, indentation in the middle. Now you have the beef cubes. The reason that you made that indentation is you're going to move these to the side. You're going to get some of that gravy. You're going to pour it directly in the middle. You see how it sits there? And watch how it dissolves and it goes equally into the right. You see that? Then, with a placer, and for the days, we're going to use a fork. You would just delicately set your plate to where its meat is shown. Now, one more time, you'll take the broth and slightly cover everywhere. Slightly cover everywhere. Bon appetit. Okay, so once again we start. I'm a savage, so like I never put enough food. I never put too little, but I most likely always put too much. So please excuse my greedyism. Hey man, it's a coronavirus. Might as well eat. When you're in quarantine, you ain't gonna have no food like this. Remember, you pat the sides down and you make an indentation right there. Pat them down, indentation. Now this time, I'm going to put an oxtail in the middle. Now this gravy is like the gravy that your mom and them used to cook. It is thick and contagious.
Touch me, baby.
So I'm going to put it around so it has the coloring of it. And once I do that, so it doesn't get ahead of me, I'll clean my plate.
I'm sorry, you said how many butters we had? Oh, I see another pack, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, all right. Now, once my plate is clean, then I will start the last thing, the placement. Placement should deal with size. You go to a restaurant, you get a meal like this, you're probably only gonna get like 4 pieces of oxtail. But hey, this is my show, I do what I wanna do.
It's not pie.
I'll put 5.
Ooh, that's nasty. Something
So, voila. It's your boy DeCabo, 1. Snugs, 1. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a lovely show. But remember, same place, same time. Come on, join us.